How's everybody doing?
Great.
Good, good. Well, welcome to Fallingwater tonight. Welcome to Fallingwater Fireside. That's why they have three-legged chairs at the dining table. But Fallingwater Fireside was a program we started to advance ideas around art, architecture, design, nature. But it carries on a Kaufman family tradition. So the Kaufmans used the living room here at Fallingwater for creative thinking, inspired dialogue. You're sharing seats of the likes of Frida Kahlo, Alfred Barr, who was the director of the Museum of Modern Art, Walter Gropius, Marcel Breuer, Alvar Aalto. The list goes on. Albert Einstein. The list goes on and on. So some pretty hallowed ground that we're sitting in. But we have the great pleasure tonight of welcoming someone who makes the contemporary world around us quite beautiful, Peter Bohlin. So thank you for being here tonight with us.
It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. So Peter is the founding design principal of Bohlin Cywinski Jackson, and he holds a Bachelor of Architecture from Rensselaer Polytechnic and a Master of Architecture degree from Cranbrook.
And 2 years there.
For 2 years at Cranbrook.
Yeah.
And understand that you were inspired by Eero Saarinen being there at Cranbrook. He's a fellow of the American Institute of Architects. He served as chairman of the Committee on Design for the AIA and was awarded the AIA Gold Medal in 2010, which is the highest honor that can be bestowed upon an architect by the American Institute of Architects. His work first came to national attention when you designed a house for your parents in Connecticut. When it was called the Forest House, is that correct?
Some people
call it the Forest House.
Yeah.
And
then by the way, we should hand out the sheets.
Oh yeah, Khalil, where's Khalil? Do we have those packets that we can pass out to the group as we do the introduction?
I think
Wonderful.
Everyone should have one.
So Peter has prepared a packet of his work.
Very simple.
Very simple. You can flip through it as we're having dialogue tonight. Maybe it'll inspire a question from you along the way. And you're welcome to take them home, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I guess you can now.
But I knew we couldn't be doing a lot
Yeah,
of
we couldn't be
visual.
doing a projection screen with his work and going through a roster of your designs. So, but use this as inspiration, and as he's talking about philosophy, you'll see that translating through the images and the packets that are getting passed around. But you've always been interested in resiliency, sustainability, ideas of a humane modernism, a romantic modernism, a blending of tradition with contemporary, and the dialogue that happens between people and place and environment. And for us here at Fallingwater, we get the great honor of being able to use two spaces by Peter pretty much on a daily basis, our barn at Fallingwater and our High Meadow facility. And High Meadow completely transformed our ability to do residency-based education programming here on site. So I know we'll talk a lot about High Meadow tonight. But this is meant to be a conversation. I think you've all had an opportunity to start talking to one another and get to know each other, and we'll all probably know one another by the end of the night. But please feel free to interrupt each other, to ask a question, because it's a dialogue and a conversation tonight, and meant to be relaxed. So Peter, maybe just a first question is, let's start from the beginning. You as a young man, how did you find architecture?
Well, on one hand, architecture is all about people and places.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you don't think about it when you're young, you are affected by it.
Sure.
Or you use it, or you And so I think when I was young, I thought I might want to do something that had to do with painting or drawing or designing. For instance, my father had gone to Pratt after NYU, and that was because of design. And so within a week of going RPI, I'll tell you that story too. But I had been accepted at MIT and Cornell and RPI, and that's the only ones I submitted qualifications to. Going back, I probably could have done others, but it's worked out.
Yeah, I think it worked out. Yeah.
And so within a week of getting to RPI, I knew I'd found my life. Now, the other half of my life is Sally, and our kids and friends and all of that, which is extraordinarily satisfying. However, then the question is, if you are going to be an architect, what does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think this house certainly speaks of that. It's a rare job to have this level of money to deal with, but then you have to be brilliant.
Sure.
And there's hardly any in the U.S. as brilliant as this, right?
We'll
There
quote
are
you on
other
that.
good things.
We'll quote you on that.
I better take that back. So I first visited here in...
Can I interrupt you and
Yeah.
share this?
Yes.
So we found in our archives.
And by the way, do all of you have these booklets?
Yeah, everyone has theirs.
Does anyone not have a booklet? Everyone has a booklet. Okay, good.
So Clinton Piper on our staff here remembered seeing a letter, which was
And I'd like
Peter's.
a copy of that. If
Yeah, you
would.
can have this copy, actually. It's not in the packet.
No,
But Peter wrote to the Edgar Kaufman Foundation in 1960.
when
He was
a
at
quick-
Cranbrook
Yeah,
requesting a visit from the secretary at the Edgar Kaufman Foundation, Clinty Appel, for a visit to Fallingwater. And we were able to find his letter in our archives, so we've saved it all these years. And it required 2 letters because he needed to write a second one because he had no idea how to find his way here. So the second letter is asking for directions.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so
Yeah.
funny.
And I love the little card at the bottom of the letter, which was, "For the privilege of visiting Fallingwater, you must do these things. You
You must do what?
You must do these 4 things.
Oh.
You have to park at the caretaker's house. You have to be accompanied at all times by the caretaker. You have to proceed by foot. And no photography, no smoking, and no touching." I think those are still our rules today. So yes, you're more than welcome to have these at the end of the night. But yeah, how did you discover Wright, and then what inspired you to come here?
well, when I was in school, I also worked a bit. One thing I did, I worked in William Lescaze's office. And some of you would know he did the first international style skyscraper in the United States.
In Philadelphia.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the only thing I remember that he said to me that summer, it was a great summer because of what I learned from other people in the office. But he said to me, "Don't bother me. I'm a busy man." That's a great lesson, what not to say. So, but I've always loved to be in the natural world. I love to fish, in a trout stream that we live next to in Connecticut. I love to spelunk. And all those things in some way or other have to do with, I think, one way to be a pretty good architect.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I found it fascinating and of great value to me to see how you make things and how you organize things, such as people have always done.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really worthy lesson to look at primitive buildings by many societies all over the world. And we've lost that, we're losing that. And in a way, we could do almost anything, and that's good, but on the other hand, we've lost that connection to the making,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm torn by that, but then again, we all will have to keep wrestling with such challenges.
So the use of technology may be compromising good design, in a sense.
It can.
Yeah.
On the other hand, it can be an extraordinary opportunity.
Absolutely. No, I know so many architecture design programs no longer require hand drawing as part of the curriculum. It's all computer-based. Pencil and one of the things we pride ourselves on here with our education programming is we ask our students to turn the technology off and work with their hands.
Yep.
Learn how to draw, learn how to communicate.
Yep.
Because that pencil is an extension of here.
And
right?
my father worked for Everard Faber Pencil Company.
Oh, really?
I became president before I retired. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So that's right about the tools.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, it is such a challenge, an extraordinary challenge, to figure how to fit into each person, because we are all similar, but we're radically different,
Mm-hmm.
I think. And so I find that to be
Be fascinating.
really fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Also, how you organize holding buildings up as an example, so that there's some connection between what we do with buildings and how they're made and why they're made. But yet, one should be doing brilliant stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you just,
Mm-hmm.
although some things are brilliant and they just happened almost.
Mm-hmm.
But I think more and more we are losing some of those things.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess each generation has to deal with that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it's good to have a lesson like this one.
Well, what did you learn from it? Any major takeaways from the time here and how that translated?
Well, I'd been in other Wright buildings,
Mm-hmm.
some of which are not so known. Like at Cranbrook, there were two houses very close to Cranbrook,
Mm-hmm.
and neither was famous,
Mm-hmm.
at least to me.
Mm-hmm.
But they were very nice,
Mm-hmm.
nicely done, thoughtfully done. I think that Wright often was sort of trapped by some of his early life and things, such as the issue of decoration. This building doesn't have much of that.
Mm-hmm.
And when it does, it's really quite good.
Mm-hmm.
But much of Wright's does have that.
Yeah.
And it's almost like an afterthought. Although here, I think almost everything is a good lesson.
It's quite a compliment for a house.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you are all sitting in what's one of the most well-known houses in the world.
That's right. And I think one of the great things about Fallingwater, which you speak a lot about, you say it's the here and there, right?
Mm-hmm.
That progression of space,
Yep.
which is so intentional here,
Oh, yeah.
even as you're walking or driving down the
Yeah.
driveway to the house.
And
then
I was here
experiencing it.
before most of these site,
The sort of institutionalization of it
Yes.
for a museum, right?
and it was before that.
Yeah.
And I thought then it had more mystery in this regard.
Mm-hmm. More personal discovery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless it did inevitable things, but on the other hand, it lost something. But not the essential thing, because when you're here, here it is.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it still lives in different ways.
Yes.
Right,
Oh, yeah.
right.
And some things in photographs don't read as well as they do in life. The ceiling always has bugged me a bit, but you know, if you got rid of it, it would not be as powerful a space. Because of the way it glows,
Mm-hmm.
and the detailing is not that fussy.
Yeah.
Wright could have made it fussy. He did a little of fuss, you know, but not too much, right?
Not too much fuss, intentional fuss.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And spatially, what an amazing thing this is. And that when you're looking at a photograph, you're looking at other aspects,
Sure.
usually.
Sure.
But just being in the place is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about that connection to nature, which is a lot of what your work is too.
Yep. Always
Being
been.
inspired by natural form, natural material.
And it doesn't have to be always the most amazing place,
Right.
but you can think about, I mean, there's a house I've left the practice, I'm 88. I've left the practice, which I should at this point, but I'm doing 5 or 6 houses,
So you haven't left the practice.
and I continue to.
Oh, that's wonderful.
But I'm doing it like Kay, wherever Kay is right now. Kay, it helps me.
Do you find yourself being a little freer on your own now that you're outside the practice? Are you designing in the same way, different way?
I'd have to think about that.
Yeah, yeah. But clearly an evolution over the course of your
Well,
career.
some of the stronger, bigger things I'm not doing now.
Mm-hmm.
But I've done Bill James. Let's see, where's Bill? There he is. Back there. Bill James and I have done a one house that's 1,300 square feet. Is that right, Billy? About
Less than 1,000.
what?
Less than 1,000.
Holy shitski. Well, you count differently than I do, but a tiny house.
Tiny house.
And it's built, and it's on the last page or two of that package. But I didn't, the most recent things are not dealt with in the same way. They're just on a page or two at the end. But you'll see there's a very small little house there. Is it at the upper left, maybe? And it's a really nice one to be in. It's better than the photos.
Okay.
I'm just going to slide back.
Yeah, of course. And you haven't limited yourself to just doing residential. You span all building topologies.
Sure.
You do small, large,
Yeah.
all scales, all landscapes.
Well, I'm doing, and we're just about done except for some of the landscape for Susan Hackerainen. A very good house outside of Philly that is more ambitious. And it's a good one, though. I mean, you can do ambitious stuff, and it's,
Too much.
no, it's
It can be too much.
Not really brilliant.
Yeah, not really brilliant, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say this is brilliant, but maybe. So, yeah, if you look at the very last, like 2 pages back or 3 at the back, you'll see an image in there of a long facade. It's quite, yeah, there. Yeah, and I think it's to the lower left. But is it a linear one?
There's a,
Yeah.
there's a green, and then there's one that's like long.
I was there yesterday afternoon.
Really? You just took the photo? No, I'm just kidding. Just whipped it in there?
We'll talk a little bit about what ties all of your architecture together. You know, you're doing modest to monumental. You're doing Pacific Northwest to the mountains of Pennsylvania. What are the themes that tie it all together for you?
Well, maybe theme is not quite the
Okay,
right
maybe
word.
theme's not the right word.
Because in a way, it's looking at each circumstance and seeing what's right,
Mm-hmm.
or what, and that's intuitive and intellectual both.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Intellectual is an odd word to use there. So I think I'm happy now that some of these that I'm working on are, and some are really modest, are in many different places, including 2 in the West, and that I can think of, and in the East, and in the Midwest. And so they're all quite different. The people are quite different.
People are different, yeah.
Yeah, really different.
Mm-hmm.
Although you need people that value what you can do for them, or they wouldn't ask you. Or it'd be a waste of energy and life.
Sure.
For instance, I think your house,
Yeah.
you've made it what it should have been again,
What?
right? You've made that house what it could have been again.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're
Because
we're
the
trying to do.
client, and we have never met, I just,
Yeah,
because the original client was a good person,
yeah.
but very self,
Persnickety. It's just, yeah.
anyway, he screwed the place up. Guess who unscrewed the place up?
I'm on screen. It's
So-
that beautiful honey color again.
Hmm?
It's that beautiful honey color, the original.
All of that. Anyway, so how did I get onto that one? Well, it is a matter of looking at each person,
Yeah.
including oneself, of course,
Mm-hmm.
and seeing and getting at what is their, what are they like?
Mm-hmm.
For instance, I did 2 houses for my mom and dad. The first one and about the 5th or 6th one. And that one was an image, has a number of images there. And that's the house in the forest. I figured out my mom within, I'd say, 6 inches in the kitchen. She loved a smaller kitchen. She hated monster kitchens because she was constantly having to run around in this
Sure.
big place.
Sure.
So,
It's good for a male architect to listen to women when designing a kitchen. Most of the great modernists could never design a good kitchen.
you have
And
to,
Lillian constantly complained, her staff complained about this kitchen constantly. Yeah. So,
well, it's interesting to get into those things, and it doesn't mean you'll get it perfect, but
no, right.
Yeah.
But you listen to your client. You
Yeah.
listen to the person using the space.
yeah.
Yeah, do you feel like, when you worked with your clients, did you feel like it was a collaboration, or did you feel like it was, like, Or what did you strive for that relationship to be?
You mean, did I think, oh, they ruin everything I do?
Yes, did you feel like they ruined everything, or no?
no,
You
no.
listened and you like, you know?
No. Sometimes you wish you could have gotten it better, or between all of you, you could have gotten it better. That's true. But I never had those feelings.
Yeah.
Sure.
Or if I did, I thought, well, I better not ever do that again.
Yeah.
You know. So houses are very personal. And so you really do want to get inside of people's feelings and thoughts, and to the extent that you can figure that out. And then you have to be ready to say, well, are you sure about that?
Yeah.
But on the other hand, there are things you learn that make things much better. Yeah.
Right.
Here, I have my hearing aids in right now, so, and when the stream is, I think the first time I was here, it had been raining, and the stream was very rushing through here. And it just was great to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of the experience of the place. It
But
defines the place.
There are times when it's so quiet, you don't.
Absolutely. It's a different house depending on the
Well,
volume of the sound.
Yes, that's true.
Absolutely.
Which have to do with your ears as well as the stream.
Right.
So, yeah. I think we've dealt with, I don't do historic buildings in that sense, or crappy things out of the past that are badly done. But we have done things that relate to our surroundings and sometimes welcome those things.
Sure.
Right? And I think that's better than forcing ourselves on certain circumstances where we shouldn't have,
You have to honor the setting and honor the landscape,
whatever that means.
whatever that means.
And we all
Exactly.
may look at it differently.
Yep.
But if you're not willing to do that, you probably are not doing what you should have.
Mm-hmm.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I mean, and great architecture is more than an aesthetic experience. It has to
Yeah,
hit here,
yeah.
or make the hair on your neck stand up, or
Or
give
all
you
of
some
that.
kind of visceral reaction.
Yes.
Um,
And sometimes.
and we've all been in dead spaces, right, where, on the surface it seems impressive, but it doesn't get to the core of what good architecture really is. But you do that.
Mhm.
How do you find that when you design? Or how do you make it humane when you design?
How do you make it humane?
How do you make it human?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All that.
All of that. Yeah.
Well, I think some of it just comes from maybe your nature, just how you were when you were a kid.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, on the first several pages, there are a few bits, and those are in our bedroom. Isn't there a little church, little stone model of a church?
Yes.
I did that.
You did that.
I did that.
Wow.
And I don't recall if it was the first grade or the second, but it was,
First or second grade?
yeah,
First grade, it says.
yeah.
I feel
And
like you
then next to that
Yeah.
is a scoop. Well, we were asked, and this is an undergraduate RPI, but it was a good exercise, but they said, do a sand shovel in the wood shop.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is the scoop, and you can, it's a bear. You can push with it.
It is
and
bear run.
scoop and touch it. You also can see how it's made.
Yeah, it's
And it's so, if you get close, you'll see,
Cool.
yeah, that one.
yeah.
You will see how the various techniques worked in wood. If you used another material, it would have been a little different. And they're two pieces that slide together. Although, with time, the wood has shrunk. I mean, that now is, I think I did it in about 55,
It says
maybe.
56.
And so the same is true doing buildings. Everything is sort of like this. And then it comes down to how you detail things so they don't leak. Or I guess you could decide to make sure something did leak. I'm joking with that one here.
He's like, shh.
So I think you feel your way through all of that.
Sure.
But
sure.
you're alive to that, and I don't think many architects do. So that's what I've done.
Just to go back to our earlier question about technology, is it because there's too much of a reliance on that sometimes?
Sure.
Yeah, maybe.
But it isn't just that.
No, it's not just that. Yeah.
It also is seeing how things get made and whether to express that or not. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I think in using technology is a little harder in that regard because, well, just not the way people make things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious. So how were you brought to the barn project, and then how did that evolve into High Meadow here for us at Fallingwater?
Well, the barn project, I was involved with that, but it was really Roxanne, John Jackson's wife, is also architect, and others in the firm. But I was involved, and we did push and pull a bit on it.
Does everyone know the barn at Fallingwater? So the Kaufmans purchased a dairy farm in the 1940s. Edgar Kaufman Sr. had this idea of being a gentleman farmer, having his country estate out here in the mountains. So he purchased a herd of Jersey cows and started a dairy cooperative with local dairy
Well, that
farmers.
makes good milk, though.
Makes the best milk, right?
Yeah, and they're
And so that was the reason for purchasing this adjoining farmstead, which had a beautiful late 1800s Pennsylvania bank barn. They added a milking parlor onto the barn in 1940. And then that barn was donated along with Fallingwater to the Western Pennsylvania Conservancy. It had been used for different purposes over the years, but BCJ was brought in, I think was it 2000 maybe?
Maybe.
To think about how to adaptively reuse the barn for a convention space,
Yeah.
meeting space,
And we did that.
office
Is it
space.
still working now?
Beautifully so,
Good.
yes, yes.
Because I remember upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Remember where barns generally would have had their grain or,
The grain, the hay, the
yeah,
equipment.
all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was intriguing, and I found it of interest. And I remember detailing grasping the rails.
Yes, yeah.
But Bill and I were much more focused when we did High Meadow.
And High Meadow is, for those of you that don't know, tucked into the woods about a quarter mile up the hill in a meadow. And friends of the Kaufmans, the Kirkpatrick family,
Yeah,
put a Sears and Roebuck split level
yeah.
on the land. They were close friends of the family, of the
Yeah.
Kaufmans here.
And we did not tear it down.
We did not tear down the split level. We
Well,
honored
it's
what
garage.
was there, and you honored the two-car
And
garage
did you notice
that was there.
If you look, find that, it's toward
it's in
the,
here.
Yeah,
isn't it toward the end? Toward the end.
but there was a desire to expand residency-based learning here.
And Yeah, there it is. You see that?
This picture is the beginning of it.
Oh, wow.
So Bill, who's sitting,
So Bill, raise your hand for those of you that don't know Bill.
that's Bill in the garage, which we also fiddled with and made it really nice. Is it still working as a good place to work and hang out? That is Bill in that photograph.
In the meadow.
Did you find him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's several pages after that.
yeah. But I thought that was a pretty good one to end with, and then we ended the rest, because we thought, there are things we've still been doing.
Sure.
And we rushed with that, so 2 images are upside down and things. But that's okay too.
So yeah, there was an international architectural competition for the design for residency housing at High Meadow. A different firm than BCJ won that competition. They actually didn't participate in the original competition. And lots of things combated the winning design. It went over budget. It was actually individual dwelling units.
I think it wasn't as nice a place to use.
Right. What's successful about BCJ's design, so the winning design was these intersecting mounds within the meadow landscape, sort of emulating the hills off in the distance. And each mound was an individual dwelling unit. Affectionately, we called them the hobbit holes here on staff. But that was, while elegant and an interesting solution for housing, what's successful about High Meadow, what we find particularly successful about High Meadow for learning is the idea of gathering. Learning is all about sitting around, collaborating, exchanging dialogue. While you have individual bedrooms within this building, you're forced to gather, and in a really beautiful space, which is this hinge of a screened-in porch that links the
That's a really
old
good way
part
to
of the
put it.
building with the new part of the building.
Yeah.
Which I know I'm telling you what you already know in design.
No, and it was much less costly.
Yeah, and this design was cost-effective, light on the
And
landscape.
I bet that underground one, which was interesting.
It was interesting.
And from my early years, if you look in the early part of that packet, you'll see there's an underground project or two. And so I've always been interested in that, but it's tough to get it right. And if you get too architecturally creative, it's not the right thing to do.
Yeah, right.
So one thing I did when I was in undergraduate school, I did an underground community all out of precast concrete pieces, so that it wasn't, it'd be a lot less costly.
Yeah.
But we didn't do that here, and that would not have made sense,
Right.
because there's no way the numbers would work. And I think this is better.
This is a
And
much
that
better
would have been
solution.
yelling, for lack of a better word, too loudly to be here.
Yes.
What this should be is, this is this house, and those are other places.
So it's not competing with Fallingwater at all.
No,
But I must say, the students that stay there and our learners that stay there are so impressed by the experience of that place
yes.
that they're often as inspired by High Meadow as they are by Fallingwater. So it's nice to have a
Well,
dialogue
we
between.
knew that was possible.
Yeah, you knew that was
And
possible.
I was perfectly
yeah.
content to do it that way.
Good. But I must say that there's as much learning to do at High Meadow as there is here at Fallingwater.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well-
super successful.
And it was Billy and myself that did that. Right, Bill?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By hand, the two of you built it.
Yeah, we
right?
did. Lifted all those beams.
So, my whole life has been that. In so many ways, and dealing with so many different materials and details and people.
Mhm.
and it continues that way.
Mhm.
And in a way, I'm tickled too. I've gotten the gold medal, right? But
It's a huge honor.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, we've gotten. Carl, I think, did you once count how many awards?
Oh, I don't know, I mean, it's over.
It's several hundred. Hmm?
Total awards?
Yeah,
Oh, that's hundreds, right?
yeah, quite a few.
More than 500, I think.
So Carl you used to run the San Francisco branch office, studio of BCJ.
It started in.
That started here in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So over 500, 700 awards.
Yeah, I think.
It's such a nutsy number that you think, nah, it can't be, but it is. So,
60 years.
60 years of the firm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
How many of you have seen that glass cube on Fifth Avenue? That's the Apple Store.
I've seen it at shopping.
Do you know this is designed by
Yes.
Bohlin Cywinski
Yeah.
Jackson? Yes.
This is a great segue, because I've been dying to ask about
Please.
that cube and how you came upon that design, whether it was within your own firm, you had a number of different ideas and which one will.
You're saying
win.
are you,
On Fifth Avenue, the Apple Store.
okay, I can tell you about that because I was very much involved.
Great.
I think we did, she didn't do that, I did it. We did it. You were involved too,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think we did it. But Steve trusted us, because he had us doing a good many of things in various, like we did the first Apple Store in New York was down in Soho, am I correct?
Yes.
Do you know that one?
I don't know that one.
Yeah, it was in an old post office, right? I think so. And so each of these is sort of zeroed in on what it could and should be, and be right for Apple. And Apple will change, they'll keep modifying and changing. So when we got to the cubes, which we haven't done other cubes, right? Or never exactly purposely, because we thought that was it on that. But we've done other things, like the ones in China. And I don't think the circular ones were ever quite as good, but they're still damn good. So,
Where did the idea for just a glass box come from? Why was that the solution? Just it worked?
no, but think about how you do make things and how you do something so simple and inevitable. Is there a simple, I don't think it's there in there. Is the sketches of all the alternatives?
No, that's not in there.
It's not in there, right?
So there were alternatives. It took you a while to
Yeah.
settle on that cube because it's such a.
Inevitable thing. And then we did it,
Inevitable, that
no,
is
and then we
interesting.
did it twice. Because the photo in there, isn't that, I forget, isn't that the one with the bigger piece of glass?
The photo in there is the original.
Yeah.
From 2000,
Oh, the smaller pieces?
the smaller pieces.
Ah.
Yeah.
And then about 2 years later, we were able to technically push the technology for glass further than it was possible 2 years earlier. I mean, we were right to the edge. And so we did the cube, the same plan, but with only 3 big sheets per side. And it said 5.
The original was,
But what is the photo in there? I forgot.
it's the original from
Yeah,
2006.
yeah. So I've never been sure how I felt about it. I liked them both. And in the end, it was Steve's choice to try the other one. And I've always thought the more millions that you see in that one image somehow seemed a little better. The other one was almost too,
Yeah.
yeah. And I still don't know what I feel about it, but then again, we've done it both ways.
Well, you said that design was inevitable, and we were talking earlier about
Or the principle.
the principle was inevitable.
The cube,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But we were saying earlier about how things that seem effortless and truly beautiful certainly take the most effort to create. Right?
Not always,
No?
no, but often they do.
Often they do.
And some things you break your buns over and they're terrible. So you try not to do those.
Yeah.
So that's why these little booklets, because I thought it would give you a little better sense of not everything. 'Cause
Sure.
then it would be 4 or 5 times that size.
It
and
would be a tome, yeah. What questions do you all have? Are you inspired by anything you're seeing or hearing? Yes, yeah.
I'm curious about your mom's kitchens.
Yeah.
What did she not want and what did she want? And was there anything, after the last kitchen you designed, was there anything that she felt like she wanted?
Yes.
That's a great question.
I don't have the photo of that kitchen. She didn't like the large kitchen. She would often just be in the kitchen by herself. And I have 2 sisters. One of them has died, but the other is still going. And even, you can always fit 2 or 3 people in a place, but often my mom would be there. And she would like something, she could be there in a place this big, that's it. And I did make it quite damn nice. The way it looked out, the way you almost floated in it. But it didn't require any extra moves on my mom's part.
That's
Now,
brilliant.
I'm sure there are people that, over the years I've worked with, that would have hated that. Oh, yeah. Thank you. They would not have liked such a small kitchen. But I know my mom, that was it, absolutely. Now, the first kitchen I did for my mom, it's not in here because I couldn't do everything. It wasn't monstrous, but it was bigger. But even that was bigger than she wanted.
That's-
So that's an example of getting down to the individual aspects of each person.
Understanding the client.
And probably asking 3 or 4 times
Sure.
and chatting about things like that, because you don't want someone to just shoot from the hip
Right.
and not really mean it or not have thought about it. And
Yes.
the house that you made,
Yeah.
well, it really should be again,
What?
your house.
Yes.
I think our client there was a decent person,
Yeah.
but he just,
Lots of changes or?
he'd shoot from the hip,
Right.
yeah,
Yep. Yeah.
That's not how you get the best stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And, but we all, as architects, would think about that a little differently, each architect. How you dig into those things. And, I mean, in my case, it seems inevitable you should do that.
Mhm. So for
What it's interesting here, by the way, in this space, so I don't forget, is that sill line carries right around.
absolutely.
It drops over there, but with the furniture and all that sill line is a big deal. And I had forgotten how important it was till I came back here. Yeah, it's interesting, because some people would have said, well, we should have made it so you could see down. Well, you'd have to go out there to see down.
Right,
Right.
yeah. He's forcing you out into the landscape to appreciate the
Yeah.
main feature, but always making nature the primary artwork for the house.
That's what I think anyway,
Yeah.
too, yeah.
Yeah.
On the other hand, there are things that one never would have thought about, like creaming up the exterior, though. I like it,
Right. The color of the house, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
but on the other hand, all the other modernist houses or buildings were white.
Mhm. Well, we were talking earlier, this is a bit of an outlier in Wright's work because he was really trying to basically give the middle finger to all of the European modernists and say,
He give 3 or 4.
maybe 3 or 4 fingers, that he could do what they were doing, but he could do it better.
And he did.
And he did. He could do it in an American way and an organic way. So he wasn't going to paint it white. Well, he initially wanted to gold leaf the whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But no, but that would have been gross.
Yeah, so he had this idea of it being a Japanese temple in the landscape, a gilded temple in the landscape. And the Kaufmans nixed that. So this is the second option, but I think a more effective one anyway, because it directly ties. If you look out right now, this is a good time of year to see the rhododendrons as they start to brown up and the leaves start to yellow and crisp and fall off, and that's the inspiration for the color of the house. So it's a direct tie to the landscape.
Yeah.
I have a question. When I was reading your bio
Yeah.
and everything, and you mentioned sustainability, and sustainability is such a hot topic right now, I feel,
Yeah.
and stuff. So I'm just curious how you look at sustainability. And I also know my home has, geothermal and all that stuff. And if you're thinking of it in terms of that kind of sustainability, or just, in the landscape, interacting with the
Good
world.
question. That's a great question.
I think, and it's probably true of many things,
Yeah.
it is good to understand what the choices are and what you can achieve. Sustainability is terribly important, but if it got it, on the other hand, if there was the argument in someone's mind,
Right.
but then it didn't follow through all the way, that's sad.
Right.
So a lot of things that are so-called sustainable may not be as sustainable in the full sense of the word as they should.
Yeah.
But we can all talk about, on the other hand, sure, it's really important.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other
Bill, I
yes.
know you had a. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you had mentioned before not wanting to shoot from the hip. And on a lot of your projects, there's timelines and there's a finite amount of time you can spend thinking about things.
Oh.
But you've also designed or built onto the home that you live in, and it's been an evolution over time. And I was wondering, given that much time, thinking about a house, living in a place, how that's changed your perspective on how you design.
Mm.
Well, I think with time, unless you go get senile. And I don't think I'm senile yet. I don't think. I probably wouldn't know it. I think you really should mull all those things over as you go, and sometimes the first thought isn't the best thought.
Mm.
And sometimes you even think of something a year later and you try to catch it.
Mhm.
So, did I answer that?
I think so.
So,
Did you change your mind about anything on your current home that you thought early on was the right solution and found
oh,
it
on
wasn't?
our own home,
Yes, on Waverly.
a little, but not much. And it's there in those images, but it doesn't show that much, and they were early photos. I think wouldn't want to muck around with that too much. I don't know if I said that right. I don't think I'd muck with that.
What question did you have?
Yeah, so how do you know when you've done so many iterations of a conceptual design that this is the design you want to go with?
In any case, you mean?
In any case, how do you know when you've reached a certain point, you've done so many iterations
When
of
do
a
you
conceptual
stop?
design?
When do you say this
When,
is
yeah,
it?
when do you say, okay,
stop?
this is
Yeah.
enough, it's time to
Yeah.
develop construction drawings, move forward with construction?
It's intuitive, and it's you get good at it.
Yeah, you know. Yeah.
But now and then you look back and you say, it's often a detail.
Mhm.
And sometimes important one. For instance, Monday, I was down at the house outside of Philadelphia. It's really quite good. And on the porch, one porch, a linear kind of porch, with a nice table and so on. We have glass that can be removed and made into screens in the summer. But I'm beginning to think, and we didn't do the screens yet, and I'm beginning to think maybe we say, let's not do that right now. Let's see what the cost of throwing, we have the ductwork for heating, and we could do cooling in that same area. And because the metal screens, the windows are about this wide and that high, and you know how they'll get a little less than perfect.
Sure.
So it's a really interesting one, and my feeling right now is not to mess around, try to solve it with air conditioning, which I think we can do, and just be done with it. And I think it'll be less money and not a lot of trouble. Now, in a way, that goes back to this question about it. But it's that kind of question,
Thank you.
Yes, yeah.
Hi, Peter. I'm Brian Jacobs. I'm an architect in Pittsburgh. As we're kind of sitting here in Fallingwater, we've discussed how this is one of Wright's, famous houses, one of the famous houses in, the world. What is one of the most defining and rewarding projects you have worked on? Like, forget the accolades and all the rewards, but what is one thing that you would say would be your favorite project, your most rewarding project throughout your life?
Nice question.
I mean, of my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Despite what other people would say, what would you pick?
Your mom's kitchen.
She's not here anymore.
No, I know.
No, I meant that as a joke. I think they're about 8 or 10.
Yeah.
Really.
It's
And for
nice.
different reasons.
That's
Maybe
nice.
15. Let's say the smallest number is 7. The biggest number, 16. And then I don't think you should decide, because the circumstances are so different, the scale is so different,
Mhm.
everything is different, and then why should you? Now, but then you can narrow it down and say, yeah, but this one, it's nailed it, that. So I'd be happy to go do that with you sometime and go through and see.
Well, I was going to ask somewhat of the same question, because there's one project in here that, not the Apple stores, but that Creekside,
Yes,
you chose to show a lot of images of Creekside, which I know is probably in that top 7,
yes,
would you say?
yes.
But maybe you can chat about why you added Creekside so often in here.
Why, I think it's,
Why you chose to show so many Creekside images in this
Yes.
package.
And where is
So it starts
It's
in,
right here.
it's,
Is after Forest House?
yes, and this is I think this is an interesting photo that Peter selected, but that's the beginning of it. It's an interesting photo.
Yes, you go. Yeah. But it does do that.
It does do that, yes.
And I always thought, that's one of the really interesting things, that it can be there or not there.
Yeah.
And then I thought,
Is it true that Alex wanted to kind of rewild the meadow? Didn't Alex want to rewild the place a little bit and that it ended up like this?
you mean, he wanted to get it more like that?
Yeah.
It's so different. Like, we were just speaking about how that first photo is, and then you look at all those others, it's like a different place. I mean, I know,
There's a considerable amount of time.
yeah, purposeful,
It
right?
is.
You know, but it's like,
Yeah.
it's just so, I'm sorry.
No,
It's just like
If I-
intriguing.
But wasn't Alex wanting it to he wasn't trying to preserve his house, he was wanting it to kind of reverse itself with nature in this fashion. Is that true?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
It would depend on the day. Yeah, but it is such a good thing. And a lot that doesn't show up in the photos, it's just,
yeah.
I love the one with the children.
But
Yeah, the kids.
So
probably one of the, I mean, you had a good friendship with the owner of this house. You had a very good friendship
yes,
with him.
yes,
He was
That-
tough
that
at
helps.
times.
yeah. And can you go to the bedroom, no, the guest bedroom? I think that photo is there. The one with the,
The one with the
yeah,
suit.
I didn't want to say it, yeah,
Yeah, well, there's about 8 pages of
yeah.
this house, but 20%. This one, right?
Yes. What do you see to the left in that image?
Yeah, so it's this photo.
Yes.
There's a little artwork.
Yeah.
You know what that is? Another one of our clients in Wilkes-Barre made the suits for NASA.
Oh, is that what that is?
And that is one of the only one out of captivity.
Oh, wow.
And he made it a gift.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
So, if I could add on to a question Carla asked about sustainability.
Yeah,
I was part of your practice late 1990s into the early 2000s. And in that time, I believe the home that Carla owns now was the first time used glue lamps in a residence, glue laminated timbers, got away from the old growth. So in a way, that was sort of an experiment with a newer product. And you were a little resistant. I remember in some of those conversations, we really wanted the solid pieces of wood.
yeah,
And I also remember within my years there, we did the Pocono Environmental Education Center where
Yeah.
we literally skinned a wall with tires that had been pulled out of the Delaware River.
yes.
But
That's a
complete-
pretty, that would be among my list of 12.
Okay. I mean, it was,
That would be your
it was an incredibly unique approach to skinning a wall.
And I thought it was great for kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm involved with a couple of schools, and like sustainability is like hot, like it's super hot, you know what I mean? Zero,
Yeah.
like, you know, carbon neutral and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And you're right, we don't do it the right way. People buy,
Credits.
buy credits
Mhm.
and everything, and it's like, I was so intrigued by that, because I just thought it was interesting that you spoke about it, and you have such a long practice, and you were thinking about it,
Yeah.
you know, back then, you know, and stuff like that, and also kind of like coming by it, like naturally, or you know what I mean, like not to
Yeah.
get to zero.
Well,
right.
and there were a number of interesting people in the practice.
Mhm.
And then a number happened to be sitting here. I'm surprised. It's great. But, and that made that a richer dialogue.
Yeah.
And I still like that. It's just, now I'm pulling back again. This house that Billy and I have done in southwestern Michigan. And Bill straightens me out and says it's less than 1,000. I think it depends how you count the square footage. But we're continuing to fiddle with that and think about it. And what a pleasure.
Yeah.
So Edgar Kaufman Jr.'s word for Fallingwater was romance.
Was what?
Romance.
Yes.
Paul Goldberger, who I'm sure all of you know, architecture critic, once called you a romantic modernist. What did he mean by that? And what does romance mean to you in architecture?
I don't know, it bugged me a little when
It
he
bugged
said
you a
that.
little bit? Oh, yeah.
But not too much. I mean, I understand it.
I think it's a wonderful compliment.
Yes.
But it, yeah,
Oh,
I
I
can see
do
why it
too.
would bug you too, yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I reconcile myself to that. Yeah, and we, this, I think we still have to try to do the book before I'm done. But I keep putting it off, which some of the guys know here.
But what does romance in architecture mean for you?
Well, it can be just corny crap,
Yeah. Yeah.
but doesn't have to be.
But doesn't have to be.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of, it's interesting to go back at modernism of the 40s and some 50s. And I like a lot of it. But it seems there could be a little more personally
More
fiddled with.
personal.
Yeah. Whatever that is. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and the people bring the beauty and the romance to the architecture.
Well, there's that.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
So all that's up for grabs.
All that's up for grabs.
All of that. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we have a reception for all of us to enjoy. Peter will still be with us.
And Sally.
And Sally will still be with us during the reception. So let's mix and mingle and continue the conversation and enjoy some food and some wine. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you.